But they have complicated answers. Like, I don't know, why is it cold in San Francisco in the summer? It just doesn't make any sense. So that's what we're bringing you right now. Simple questions with complicated answers. First up, the Giants. They had a better record by win percentage last year than this year, still coached by Joe Judge. And ownership has come out and they've stood behind Joe Judge, saying, we are going to back him, bring him and Daniel Jones into next season. It doesn't make any sense to me. So, Joy, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. Why are the Giants bringing back Joe Judge?
Well, the Giants are a patient organization. They're a conservative organization. They don't overreact. And I don't actually think this is the wrong move. I don't think 2 years is long enough for any coach to put together any culture or build any kind of momentum. I know there's a lot of reasons why things are falling apart with the Giants, but I would actually keep Gettleman and Joe Judge for another year, see what happens. If it doesn't work, if they can't build anything next year, then start a new regime. Because if they fire Gettleman and bring in a new GM, then Joe Judge is not going to be his guy. Daniel Jones is already not Joe Judge's guy, and so on and so forth. It just creates more ridges. They need a solid foundation, and 2 years is not enough for Joe Judge to build that.
Look, I don't know why they're keeping Joe Judge. I don't know what they're doing. It's going to be the same thing. The Giants are scared of change. They don't want to change to get outside of the way that they've always done things. That's why they always get the same results. And so until they change everything from top to bottom, coaching, front office, they're going to continue to be mired in mediocrity and behind the Cowboys and others in that division.
I like that. I guess that is an answer, albeit I like y'all's thoughts. I hate the answer itself. Okay, Bucky, I have a simple question for you because going into the season, I was told that Justin Herbert was the future. Brandon Staley, one of the brightest minds in all of football. You have great wide receivers out there for the Chargers. You have a really good running back. You have a Pro Bowl safety. You have phenomenal pass rushers. But I looked up, and the Chargers, they 8-7, Bucky Brooks? Somebody has to tell me. Bucky, why are the Chargers 8-7?
That's because Brandon Staley is going through a little on-the-job training. It is hard being a head coach when you've never been a head coach. There are not new responsibilities that you have to navigate through. You have to figure out, how cute do I want to be when it comes to dealing with the analytics? Do I want to be the guy that's smarter than everybody in the room? Or do I want to win games in a traditional sense? Brandon Staley is still trying to figure out where he fits in terms of his coaching style. That's why the Chargers are 8-7. The head coach hasn't figured out how to really head coach.
Okay.
I agree, Bucky. It's first-year head coach in Brandon Staley, and Justin Herbert is in his second season. Let's not act like he's some savvy veteran, as incredible as he was last year. First time with the Chargers offensive coordinator, first time with the Chargers as defensive coordinator. Also, their defense is 29th in rushing defense, second to last in points per game allowed. It's a very young roster. There's lots of reasons why they're struggling. Obviously, Justin Herbert is an incredible talent, is going to continue to develop. But they're in a very new stage here. They're still rebuilding. It shouldn't be a shock to anyone that they are where they are right now.
Okay, we got to move on. But before we do, I got to get my rock. You know what I'm saying? I feel powerless without my ball in my hand. Shout out to Wilson. Okay, now, Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, they have a Super Bowl together. They won a Super Bowl in Russell Wilson's second season. 144 starts, 149, starts they shared together. That's the 8th most in NFL history between a coach and a quarterback. Their first losing season. Every great relationship goes through some highs and it goes through some lows. But now people are telling me Russell Wilson should want out. All right, Joy Taylor, then answer me this. Where should Russ want to play next season?
Who dat?
Oh, gosh.
They need to go down to New Orleans, play with the Saints. One of my favorite cities in the country. I love New Orleans, but aside from it being a great city, it's also a great landing spot for Russell Wilson. Sean Payton is an offensive genius. They have a good defense there. They have a good culture. They have great ownership. It's a new start. This is a new world we're seeing with quarterbacks in the league. Quarterbacks never used to move. They finished their entire career, start and finish in one place. That was what was common. Now we're seeing all kinds of movement. I don't think Russell Wilson, the type of person that he is, the type of player that he is going to stay in a situation in Seattle where they can't move forward or can't rebuild. I wouldn't be surprised if he stays there, but if he does leave, I do think that the Saints is the best landing spot for him.
Oh, no. Russell Wilson got to stay there. He got to clean up the mess that he made. They built the team around Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson wanted the team. They got rid of the Legion of Boom and all the loud guys so Russ could be comfortable being the leader. So, oh, no, Russ, you don't get to mess it up and then go leave your room. You're like one of my kids. Come back here, clean up this room and fix it. You're not going outside and playing until you do your chores. That's what Pete Carroll should tell Russell Wilson. No.
I love that. Well, from a team that is not good in the NFC to a team that is great in the AFC, the Tennessee Titans, not only does Nashville have some incredible hot chicken, they have a hot running back, but unfortunately, Derrick Henry has been on the bench. He's been on ice. Now, the Titans have played 7 games without Derrick Henry. They played 8 games with Derrick Henry. Somehow, they're still 10-5, y'all. Second most wins in the AFC, winning their division, second seed in the playoffs as it stands right now, but ain't nobody talking about them boys. Bucky, why aren't the Titans getting the love?
Because when you watch them play, they're a little sleepy, right? They make you knock out, then you wake up and be like, oh, the Titans won? Because there's nothing exciting about their style, yet their style is one that is really tricky for people to deal with. They're tough, they're physical, they have a great front line up front on defense. When Derrick Henry is playing, the running game is like no other. And then A.J. Brown is a young superstar that we don't talk about. And so they just win games, but it's not aesthetically pleasing. That is why we don't remember the Titans.
Good line, Bucky. They don't have a knockout punch. Obviously, they have some exciting players, but nobody really has a lot of respect for Ryan Tannehill until he pulls off a great run. They're also wildly inconsistent. They'll do what they did to the Niners, and they'll lose to the Steelers. And if you look at their numbers since they lost Derrick Henry, their offensive numbers have gone down significantly. So they are a jabber as a fighter. So wear you down, couple cuts. But there's no knockout punch with the Titans, and they're inconsistent. So while they do have the capability of making a long run, they don't really bring any fear to anybody without that guy on the field, and that's Derrick Henry.
Well, that will do it, y'all, for simple questions, complicated answers. At least I'm done asking them. I got one for y'all at home. If you're dining at a restaurant and you're waiting on the waiter, does that make you the waiter? Simple question. Coming up next, Damian Lillard, he talking about rings? Don't mean a thing? Make that make sense. We got some hot thoughts about that. Next on Speak for Yourself. Spin, please, ball, spin. Go to break before it dies. Go to break. Go. Oh, see? Y'all.